like that has such a big impact on a young mind, you know, like those were, to me, it was like watching Superman or watching, you know, any superhero and being like, whoa, and now I'm a part of this. Like I felt like okay, this is achievable. You know what I mean? I
Right,
could,
right.
I could do this. And then, so yeah, I knew from then, man, that that's it. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do hip hop for the rest of my life. I knew at a very young age that I was gonna do this for the rest of my life.
So when you get to Vegas, so what were some of your like earlier crews that you were a part of?
Well,
Or did you guys even do the crew thing at that time?
well, I had a cruise in Texas. We
Oh,
had
okay.
crews. So we had breaking crews in Texas. I had cousins that were like amazing in Texas. They were like winning like all city battles and stuff. Like to me, that, you know, that was a big thing.
Hmm.
And then when I was a teenager, going through like freestyle dance, you know, I did a lot of freestyle dance through from after, because around 86 when breaking stopped, I was only breaking from like 83 to 86. And then around 88 I started dancing again, and it was all freestyle dance, you know, a lot of social dances, Running Man, Roger Rabbit, Cabbage Patch, you know, Robocop, all those dances, going to teen clubs. And then we had our own crews then, just childhood crews, like, you know, I was in a crew called TNT, which was Dynamite, and we had that crew. And then, but when I got to Vegas, it was just, I was kind of just solo. Like it was just me. I moved out there, but I happened to run into Ivan. Ivan was living in Vegas. He was working at a show called Splash, the Riviera Casino, and I would see him at the clubs. And I started running around with him at clubs. So I was learning like a lot from him, how to be real energetic, how to capture audiences, how to like, you know, just go out and like create,
Perform.
yeah, perform, you know, perform
Yeah.
and, at clubs, but perform, you know, how to be a performer.
Right.
And then uh, they had a show that came to Vegas called the Manhattan, and a bunch of dancers moved to Vegas. Crumbs, Ramine, Flowmaster, Wicked, uh, Honey Rockwell, like all these dancers moved. Wiggles, Mr. Freeze, they were all living in Vegas, and so I got to like see that happen while learning from Style Elements, because I met Quality. We moved out there, you know, and I got to be around these guys, and then living with them with Quality and Remind. And then when they left is when I really started to get involved with Rocksteady, because Mr. Wiggles asked me to be a part of Rocksteady because I was already friends with Flow Rock and Aldo, which was quite right. And I started learning from them. Then I got down with Rocksteady, and I was down with Rocksteady for almost 10 years, like pretty much 10 years of my life. And
Okay.
then it went full circle, and I got down with Style Limits in around like 2011. Yeah,
Right.
and came back at the.
What stopped you from being down with them first? It was just because they all kind of left out of
Um,
Vegas?
yeah, I think. Well, I think there was a couple of different things. I think when I met them, they were on such a high. You know, they had just won Battle of the Year, just won Radiotron. You know, they just won all these huge things, and they were like at such a high point. I was like still like learning. You know, I was like kind of like I was freestyle dance, coming from a freestyle background almost, and into breaking. And so when I was learning from them, it was like I was just cool. We were just friends, you know. And I think if we would have, I feel like if they would have stood in the city, it would have eventually happened. But because they left, the long distance friendship, it was kind of different at the time back then. You know, this is like I was even like not even cell phoned out that at
Right,
that
right,
time. You know,
right.
like, I was anti cell phone at the time. You know, I didn't want to. I was like kind of like that kid where I was like, I don't want to have that army and stuff like that. And and but I stood in the city. Rocksteady started a chapter. And Rocksteady wasn't even like a thought in my mind. You know, it was like, so when they asked me, it was like, what? That was like, it was like almost unbelievable to me. You know, that we're talking like full circle from my childhood, seeing Beat Street on the big screen, and you know, now I have Mr. Wiggles ask me to be a part of something that is, to me, was like out of reach at the time, you know, like it's I
Right.
feel like it's kind of different now with the history now where we're at today. But at that moment, it was huge for me, you know, and
Because
I
it's
was
kind
like,
of I'm just trying to jump into your mind, but it's kind of like now the silver screen has jumped off the screen and into your life.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm
I was
saying?
like, it was like what? Like this is crazy. This is like this to me that was like Superman, you know, like
Right.
these are like I said earlier, like these are like heroes. I'm like, okay, yeah,
You don't
this
say no
is
to that one, right?
yeah, you don't say no. You don't say no, you know. And I was like, yes, you know, for sure. And, you know, and I remember even calling Quality and being like, yo, like, Wiggles just asked me to get down Rocksteady. And, like, he was like, do it. And, I just, yeah, I got down with Rocksteady, man. I learned a bunch of stuff. And, like, I'm grateful for that period of my life because I learned a lot, you know, I put a lot of work in, you know, for people that, they don't know or weren't around me at that time or whatever, like I wasn't the fastest learner, you know, like I always try to like remind people that like people learn in different stages, you know, and but the one thing that I do have is I have a huge heart, you know, I have a lot of dedication and will, you know, so I'm gonna put the time in, you know, to make up for the fact that I don't learn the quickest, you know, around all the homies or whatever, and like while they're picking it up, I'm paying attention, doing it so much that I'm learning so much from it. So at the end of the day, I'm mastering movements that somebody might have picked it up that day, you know, but that's how it kind of goes. Like I feel somebody can pick up something that day, but somebody that spends years doing it, they're going to end up knowing it so much, you know,
Ins and outs.
yeah, like I know all about it because I spend so much time with it, you
Right.
know, so that's who I kind of am as a dancer. It's like when I go or anything, any of my art forms, like rapping or whatever, music, whatever I'm doing, I put so much into it. Like I'm not just like quick, but now that I'm older, like I'm quick now because you know the time I spent with at those learning points, and it was
No
crazy, man.
doubt.
Like
So why do you get out of when and why do you get out of Rocksteady?
I got out because there was a moment where Legs kicked everyone out.
Oh wow.
He dropped a text to everybody and kicked everyone out. And
With no explanation, it's just like, all right, it
not
was nice while
everybody
it lasted.
everybody got texts like y'all out of the crew, like you know what I'm saying. And it was like it was everyone like why not Punita, Irvin, Kulski, Easy Rock, like we're talking like everybody, you know.
Wow.
And and I was the only one that was like nah, like I battled in the crew, like I'm a rock a shirt at the next jam, y'all could come battle, get the best. You
He
know what I'm
said I
saying?
already did what I had to do.
Yeah, like we gonna battle me out, you know, like I come from a different background, you know what I'm saying? Like my background is like I was never in a gang, but my homies was in gangs. And when it was like forever, you know,
Right.
that's how I saw it. I come from a street lifestyle where it's like
You got
this
to
is
die out.
forever. Yeah, yeah. And I caught a little heat from being that, you know, being like that, you know,
Hmm.
like of course they weren't happy with me being like, yo, what's up? You know what I mean? So but it earned me respect to be down, to stay down with the crew for a minute. And they were like, okay, well, you know, you still down or whatever. And then, but my thing is this is a family, you know, so now you got my family torn apart. Like, I'm like, we need to fix this. And so they were like, okay, let's try to fix it. You know, let's give it a little bit of time and let's see what happens. You know, this is what I was told. And I was like, all right, cool. And then at the time, Remind came to LA and he was staying with me. And he was like, yo, I'm gonna build up Style Elements. And he was like, why don't you get down with the crew? And we're gonna get recruit a bunch of people. And I was like, hmm. and nothing was happening with rebuilding the Rocksteady. So I just made a decision, man. I was like, I can't do this. Like, if my family's torn apart, so I can't see. I'm. I felt like I'm the one seeing my homies at the jams. Though, you talking about legs, or he wasn't really like, he's not at a lot of jams. Like, he's at jams that he's getting chose to be at this time. I'm at all the jams out here in California. Like, I'm like hosting all these jams, being at a bunch of jams, and I'm seeing my family, who I'm not supposed to be family with no more. So I was just like, nah, this isn't working. Y'all ain't trying to fix it. So, and I'm gonna go down with Style Elements. They were the crew I really wanted to be with, anyways. That was my dream crew. Rocksteady happened, and I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for everything. All the lessons I learned. I'm grateful for Legs having me down, and Wiggles asking me to be down, and I'm grateful for meeting, and becoming brothers with Fable and Sweepy and like all these amazing people to me. But when the family was dismantled, that was it for me, man. I was like, how's this gonna work for me? Like, I'm out here. So yeah, I just had to leave, man. It was a tough decision, especially because I think the hardest decision for me about it was.
Wait, so you're still training him at this point when this is all going down?
Yeah,
yeah. Wow, okay.
When everyone when all that happened, Vale hit me up, and his family hit me up like.
For more quality content from Beyond the Cypher with Illskillz, don't forget to press the like and subscribe buttons. Also, feel free to follow us on Facebook and IG at Beyond the Cypher. Let us know how we're doing in the comment section, and to make sure you don't miss anything from the channel, smash that notification bell. We appreciate the love and support. Peace. Until the next episode.